What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to BNA Sports. Andrew actually couldn't be here, but today I'm going to be bringing you my favorite top 10 football players of all time in the NFL. So hope you enjoy that. Cue the intro. So obviously this was a super hard list. I spent like at least 15 minutes working on it. But in the end I made a final decision. It was super hard to make, but it's for the content, so I had to make it. So my top 10 NFL players list, here we go. Number 10 is Jared Goff. I'm actually obviously a Lions fan. If you don't know who this is, then you'll see him later. I'm a huge Lions fan. They're easily my favorite team. And Jared Goff recently joined them. He's been doing all right since, but definitely a fun player to watch. He was fun to watch with the Rams too. So he's number 10 on my all-time favorite top 10 players list. Number 9, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but it is Tom Brady. Yes. Yeah. So it actually is Tom Brady, but let me explain why. I'm not just a bandwagon. I'm also a huge Michigan fan, Michigan football, and Tom Brady did actually go to Michigan. And if you don't believe that he's the GOAT, you're wrong. But he's definitely the GOAT, and he was super fun. I didn't get to watch him at Michigan because I wasn't alive yet, but he's been easily one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in the NFL, and he takes my place at number 9. Number 8 is Deshaun Jackson. He recently got traded to the Rams, but he's one of my favorite players. And this is the reason why. He made this fantastic play called the Miracle at Meadowlands, I think it's called. But here's that play.
Shear waits, and it's a line drive kick. Jackson bobbles it and now has to try and recover. Deshaun Jackson gets a block! Are you kidding? Deshaun Jackson still not in, and now in for the touchdown, no flags.
And so ever since I saw that play, I was a big fan of him. It's super fun to watch him. He has some cool touchdown dances that I like. He's a little bit cocky, but not over the extreme, which is, if you're over the extreme cocky, then that's just not fun to watch. But super fun to watch him, and he also makes really great plays and touchdowns. He has several catches over like 70 yards, which is crazy. There's a whole video of that, and it's just insane what he can do. So he takes my place at number 8. Number 7 is DeAndre Hopkins. He's been on my fantasy football team ever since I started fantasy, and he always provides a great score for me. So that's one reason I like him. Also, it's just because there's a good story about him and his mom, and they have a great relationship, and so he's also just a good guy. And so he takes my place at number 7. Number 6 is another Lion, DeAndre Swift. He recently joined the Lions. I believe we got drafted him last year from Georgia. He's a great running back in the NFL. Definitely a rising star, and I think he'll be the next great running back easily. And he's super fun to watch. He is super exciting and has a bunch of crazy moves, and he trucks some people sometimes. Play that.
Dumps it off to Swift. Powers his way.
And so definitely just super fun to watch him. He's one of my favorite Lions and also one of my favorite players of all time. And he takes my place at number 6. Number 5, and this is getting to the top 5. So these are like the players that I like a ton, and they're super great in my mind. And so number 5 is going to be Steve Young, and he's actually, I think, the first pass player that I included in my list. And the reason why I like him so much is because I'm a lefty for throwing, and he also is. So it's just cool to relate with him about that, because there's not a lot of people that are lefty. I think that it's 10% of the population is actually left-handed. And so it's cool to relate with him, and he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to actually be lefty. So he's taking my place at number 5. Number 4 is yet another Lion, and he's probably one of the greatest running backs to ever do it, if not the greatest, and that is Barry Sanders. He was just an amazing player, and he wasn't super cocky at all. He just gave the ball to the referee right after, which is cool. And like I said with Deshaun Jackson earlier, I like his touchdown dances, but I also like people being humble. So it was cool, super cool to watch that. And so he just had great moves. He was easily one of the greatest running backs ever, if not the greatest. And he was super fun to watch highlights of. I never watched him in person or on live TV because I was not old enough. But he was definitely super fun to watch highlights of. I like watching highlights of him on YouTube all the time. So he takes my place at number 4. Number 3 is Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. I've liked Russell Wilson ever since I was a little kid. I started liking him when I was 6 or 7 probably. I have a rookie card of him, which is super cool, and it's one of my prized possessions. But he's just a great person. He's a Christian outside of being a great football player, and also he's just super fun to watch on the football field. And so he takes my place at number 3. Number 2 has to be Drew Brees. I read a book on him a couple years back called Coming Back Stronger. Highly suggest it for anyone out there, football fan or not. It's just a really great book. And you can just see how good of a person he is. He actually went to the New Orleans Saints. He chose them over the Dolphins just because of Hurricane Katrina, I believe it was. And he wanted to help out with that. And so he did a lot of stuff for the city of New Orleans, including win them a Super Bowl. He's definitely one of my favorite players. Number 2 on my list. And he was just a great Saints player, and I was super sad when he retired, but it's what he had to do. He was super fun to watch, and he takes my place at number 2. And number 1 is none other than Calvin Johnson. Woo! He was, if not the greatest wide receiver, one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game. Nicknamed Megatron by one of his former teammates. He retired early because he had some health problems and injuries, a lot going on. But that's what football does to you. He was just a great player to watch. I watched a few games of him live, and I actually watched one in person a few years back. And he's just a great player. He was super fun to watch, and he's just an amazing player. And I mean, just the way he caught the ball and with ease, how he did, made it look so easy, is just crazy to me. And so as a Lions fan, he's easily my favorite Lion of all time, and easily my favorite NFL player of all time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It took me a long time to make this list, and it was super hard to do. But I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. Maybe some people will agree with me, I don't know. But that's my top 10 favorite NFL players. Please like and subscribe. Andrew will be back in some more videos very soon, and so look out for that. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.